Guys, look. Me and McKinley just broke up. The cops are outside of my house right now. She just called the cops on me, packed all her, took her car, everything. Insane. Insane, bro. I can't believe I dated that for the past 2 years, bro. It doesn't even seem real.
Jack Doherty didn't just fall off. He crash landed. The guy who built a YouTube empire on pranks, flexing cars, and exploiting girlfriends is now back at his mom's house begging for followers. He made millions harassing strangers, lost it all in scams, and even crashed his McLaren on live stream while laughing. Sponsors dropped him, Kick banned him, and the supercars got repossessed. Now he's filming pity TikToks with the Island Boys. Jack didn't get canceled. He self-destructed. Because when your girlfriend's your business, your fans are your piggy bank, and your ego's your brand, the downfall isn't F. It's when Jack Doherty didn't just fade out of the spotlight, he got evicted from it. And honestly, no one's surprised. This is the same guy who built an empire on pranks that were basically public meltdowns, crashed a McLaren on live stream like it was an extreme sport, and treated his girlfriends like part of the marketing budget. Now he's back at his mom's place, posting pity reels for engagement, looking like a man who just learned what the word consequence actually means. It's kind of poetic, really, watching him go from throwing around OAF checks like Monopoly money to crying in front of a ring light in his childhood bedroom. But let's rewind to when Jack was on top, when chaos still paid the bills. Back in 2017, a 14-year-old with a camera discovered the YouTube cheat code be as annoying as possible. Harass strangers, get them mad, film it, profit. The more uncomfortable people looked, the faster the views rolled in. It wasn't content, it was emotional vandalism with ad revenue. And for a while, it worked beautifully. By 2019, he was pulling in 40 to 60 grand a month just from ads. Ad and energy, drink sponsorships, and mobile game deals from companies clearly too busy counting money to vet their creators, and Jack was easily clearing six figures. For a teenager, that's life-changing money. For Jack, it was an invitation to financial self-destruction. The first thing he bought wasn't a house, it was an illusion. A rented mansion, $30,000 a month, because buying takes patience and Jack had none. Then came the toys, a 3D 15K McLaren, a $500,000 Lamborghini Aventador, multiple G-Wagons, a Rolls Royce he swore was worth 400 grand. His audience, mostly teenagers, ate it up. To them, Jack was living proof that the American dream was still alive. You just had to scream at strangers for it. But the empire was hollow. YouTube's algorithm shifted, ad rates dipped, and sponsors started realizing harassment wasn't a brand value. By 2022, Jack's income was drying up, so he pivoted not to something smarter, but to something much worse. He called it a talent management agency. Everyone else called it what it was, exploitation with a business license. Jack would recruit young women on social media, fresh-faced, narvy, and eager for a break, promising easy money through OAF. But those contracts he handed out, they gave him up to 70% of their income and full control over what they posted. He managed their schedules, their prices, and even their content. One of those women was McKinley Richardson, who dated Jack for 2 years and eventually became his walking ATM. She later revealed he pressured her into doing things she didn't want, threatening to send her home if she refused. According to leaked messages, Jack even pitted his clients against each other, forcing competition over who could make him more money. At one point, he bragged about pulling in $500,000 a month, not from YouTube, not from merch, but from his girlfriend's content. He literally turned a relationship into a business model. Then karma clocked in. McKinley had enough, took the passwords, changed the logins, and vanished, effectively firing Jack from his own company. His monthly income nosedived from $500,000 to maybe 10% of that overnight. And instead of dealing with it like a rational human, Jack did what Jack always does. He streamed the breakdown. He went online crying about betrayal, waving receipts like a customer service complaint. He told viewers he'd sacrificed everything for her, that she was lucky to date him, that he'd made her his business, which, yes, was exactly the problem. Imagine losing your partner, your job, and your house in one day, and your first instinct is, better grab the camera. Once McKinley was gone, the whole operation fell apart. The income dried up, the followers drifted, and suddenly Jack's math stopped math. He was burning through 90 grand a month while making maybe 15. Rent was due, employees wanted salaries, car payments stacked up, and Jack needed a miracle. So he did what every influencer does when they're out of ideas and money. He made a crypto coin. He called it the next big thing, hyped it nonstop, and convinced his teenage audience they were about to become millionaires together. He showed fake gains, promised insane returns, and even hired other influencers to back him up. For a few weeks, it worked. The coin skyrocketed, fans were bragging about profit screenshots, and kids were literally stealing from their parents to invest. Then Jack dumped everything. Blockchain records showed he and his buddies sold almost 90% of their holdings within 2 days, crashing the price by 96%. Thousands of fans, most of them minors, watched their money evaporate. Jack reportedly made around $1.2 million from the rug pull. The community called it one of the most blatant scams of the year. Jack called it business. But the universe wasn't done with him yet. On October 15th, 2024, Jack's empire finally met its physical match, a wet Miami road. He was live streaming while driving his McLaren in heavy rain, doing 70 plus when the car hydroplaned and smashed into a barrier. His cameraman was injured, airbags exploded, and Jack, he stayed live, grinning, reading comments, and asking people to like the stream. Within hours, the crash clip was everywhere, 15 million views in a day. But those views came at a cost. Kick banned him for life, wiping out his $70,000 monthly paycheck. Sponsors bailed faster than the airbags deployed. Insurance denied coverage because the crash happened during commercial filming. Suddenly, Jack owed hundreds of thousands in damages, legal fees, and medical costs, with almost no income left to cover it. The mansion gone, the cars repossessed, the employees laid off. And Jack, back to where it all started, in his old bedroom, surrounded by posters of a lifestyle that doesn't exist anymore. Of course, he insists it's all just trolling, that he's fine, that it's content. But you can tell when someone's trolling and when someone's flailing.
Made increasingly bold promises about potential returns.
I know which one I'm buying. I'm dropping a bag on it, and we're all getting rich together, guys. I'm not selling until it's at 100 million market cap.
Because when you're filming TikToks, offering cash to anyone who follows you back, or collaborating with the Island Boys in 2025, you're not trolling. You're drowning. Now he's recycling old pranks, bumping into strangers with his bodyguard, pretending to start fights, desperate for attention that no longer comes. People aren't watching his content anymore. They're watching his collapse. And that's the real difference. Jack Doherty's story isn't just about one influencer imploding. It's the blueprint of what happens when you build a career on chaos and exploitation. For years, Jack proved that being reckless could make you rich, that being shameless could make you famous. But the internet always sends the bill. He wasn't destroyed by bad luck or cancel culture. He was destroyed by himself. His own camera, his own ego, his own need to be louder than everyone else. Because when you turn your relationships into marketing, your girlfriend into a revenue stream, and your audience into a bank account, don't act surprised when all three disappear at once. So yeah, Jack didn't fall off, he self-destructed. And the only thing more predictable than his downfall is the live stream he'll probably title about it. See you in the next one.